ever get that itch? Yeah, the one where you just want to like grab a mystery, rip it open, and just dive right in.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what we're doing today. We are diving into Madame Kaldunya's Dolls.
Nice.
It's a short story, but man, does it ever a wild ride.
Definitely wild. What really got me right off the bat was just how the story slams together like everyday stuff with these totally bizarre, like out of nowhere moments.
It's true. It's like opening a birthday card and bam, out pops a creepy doll, right?
Totally.
So we've got Ava and Isabella, just two roommates trying to figure out this whole love thing, right?
Right.
But Isabella, she's not really buying into all the lovey-dovey mystical stuff.
Nope.
Ava, on the other hand.
Oh, yeah, she's all in.
And that difference, that right there sets off this whole crazy chain of events. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's rewind back to the beginning, to this whole circus scene.
Oh, the circus.
Oh.
The author did an amazing job. Like, you could practically smell the popcorn and hear the lions roaring. Though that smell of the animal cages always kind of stuck with me. It's like a hint, a hint at the darker stuff that's going to go down
Yes,
later.
absolutely, like foreshadowing, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, we're thrown right into the action with this circus. Dodging clowns 1 minute, and then bam, Isabella bumps into Brad, her soon-to-be ex, with some other woman. Talk about awkward.
Oof. Yeah.
Total recipe for disaster. And honestly, this whole encounter, it kind of pushes Isabella right into the waiting arms of, well, Madame Kaldunya.
Speaking of Madame Kaldunya, can we just talk about this character for a sec? She is seriously something else. I mean, from her eyes, like they just stare right through you, to the way she's always knitting with those crazy long needles. So creepy.
Yeah, and it's that whole knitting thing, right?
Yeah. It's like you don't really picture a fortune teller also being like a master knitter. Makes you wonder what she's really making with those needles. Yeah.
It's like she's knitting destinies or something. But okay, how about this? Madame Kaldunya, she knows right away about Ava and that whole love potion incident. Like how, and Isabella hasn't even said a word. Then, without missing a beat, Madame Kaldunya just lays it all out there. The cheating, the heartbreak, everything. What's the deal? Is she for real? Does she have like actual magic powers?
That's what's so good. The story keeps you guessing, like right on the edge of what's real and what's not. I mean, is she really magic, or is she just like really good at reading people?
A master manipulator, right?
Totally.
And this is where things get dark. Madame Kaldunya gives Isabella a choice. Another love potion. Or revenge. And come on, we all know Isabella, right?
Oh, yeah, she's not picking that love potion.
No way. She wants revenge big time. But here's the thing. The way the story shows her going down that dark path, it's intense. It's like you can almost feel Isabella's anger and pain just radiating off the page.
It is intense, and you're right there with her. You get why she's so mad. But it also makes you think, right? Like, what would you do if you were in her shoes?
Exactly. Tough question. So how's she going to get this revenge, you ask?
Oh.
With creepy little dolls, of course. But they're not just any dolls. They're effigies of Brad and Darlene.
Oh, yeah, those dolls.
And Madame Kaldunya, she's not just handing these things out like candy, right? There's a price, she warns, and it involves the fates. Talk about ominous.
Yeah, that whole warning just adds this whole other layer to things. Like, Isabella wants revenge, sure, but is she ready for the fallout? It's like she's messing with forces she doesn't really understand.
And get this. Isabella doesn't just lay down some general curse.
Oh, no.
She gets specific, like really specific.
Uh-huh.
She goes after Brad's eyes and hands.
Wow.
The eyes. I mean, come on. Those are the eyes that looked at another woman, right?
Right.
And the hands. Those are the hands that, where you get the picture.
It's like she wants him to feel the loss the same way she feels it.
Absolutely. And then there's Darlene, right? She's caught in the crossfire of all this. And Isabella, she doesn't hold back, aims straight for the heart with that curse.
It's intense, right? Like, you can feel Isabella's need for revenge, but at the same time, you kind of get this sense that she's in over her head.
Definitely. And Ava, she tries to warn Isabella, tells her to pump the brakes, that this is all going too far.
But she won't listen.
No way.
Yeah.
Isabella's determined, even if it consumes her. And after the curse, it's like all the energy is just sucked right out of her. She even needs a drink to, steady herself.
It's like she unleashed something, but not in a good way.
Totally. And just like that, the story shifts. We're ripped away from Isabella and dropped right into the city morgue.
Oh.
It's jarring, like the author wanted to keep us on our toes.
The author is definitely messing with us.
So now we're with Detective Jackson and Dr. Edelstein. They're dealing with 2 deaths. A crazy car crash and, Isabella.
Both gone way too soon.
And get this, on the surface, These deaths, totally unrelated.
Yeah, on the surface.
But you know there's more to it. And just when you think you're starting to understand what's going on, bam, the autopsy results hit.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about a game changer.
Yeah.
Let's start with Brad, okay? This guy's a mess. Punctures in his palms, eyes are all messed up, and his brain, it's like something went haywire in there.
It's brutal.
Brutal doesn't even cover it.
Yeah.
And Dr. Edelstein, he's stumped. He's saying there's just no way Brad could have been driving with those kinds of injuries. Like, the dude was already dead before the crash.
Think about that for a second. Someone somehow did that to Brad before he ever got in that car.
It's like something out of a horror movie.
Total horror movie.
Then there's Darlene.
Mm.
Now, her injuries, those seem like they're from the crash.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, the story. It doesn't really tell us what happened to her, at least not yet.
Oh, that's good. That is so good. The suspense.
Right. Like, did Darlene make it? Or is there something else going on here?
Mm-hmm.
And just when you think it can't get any weirder, we learn how Isabella died.
Ow.
Stab wounds.
Oh, wow.
To the heart.
Just like the curse.
Exactly. So what are we supposed to believe? That Isabella's curse somehow bounced back on her, like karmic retribution or something?
Right. It makes you wonder about the whole curse thing. Like, was it real? And if it was, how far does it reach?
It's like Isabella unleashed this wave of anger, you know? And it just came right back and wiped her out along with everyone else.
And we're left trying to pick up the pieces right along with Detective Jackson.
Yeah. Like, where do we even begin? I mean, are we talking about like an actual curse here? Or is there some other explanation for all this chaos?
Well, and that's the beauty of the story, right? It forces you to confront the unknown.
Yeah. Like, do we really know how the world works?
Exactly.
I mean, there's Ava.
Mm-hmm.
What was her deal? Was she mixed up in all this on purpose? Or was she just, I don't know, an innocent bystander?
Right. Like, was she in on it or was she a victim too? And then there's that whole thing with the murder weapon, right?
Oh, totally. We still don't know what was used on Brad.
Yep.
Like, what could cause that kind of damage?
It's like every time you think you've figured it out, something else pops up and throws you off.
Those knitting needles.
Yeah.
Right? They just keep, like, poking holes in every theory.
Those needles are definitely suspicious.
And then we can't forget about Darlene. We still don't really know what happened to her. The story just kind of leaves her hanging.
It's that unanswered question, right?
Well,
Did she survive?
I know. Did that curse get her too?
It's like the story wants you to fill in the blanks.
Keeps you guessing. It's like the author was like, okay, here's all the pieces. Now you figure it out. But are we supposed to? Or is the point that we can't?
And maybe that's the scariest part of all, right? That some things just can't be explained.
Madame Kaldunya's Dolls, everyone. A story that will keep you guessing and maybe even keep you up at night. So what do you think? Was it a curse? Was it something else entirely? Let us know. And until next time, remember, sometimes the most unsettling mysteries are the ones without answers.